1, 2, 3, 4. Hey everybody, Gary here with Guitar Tricks, and in this video I want to share with you a very simple finger picking pattern that works in different styles of music that you could play at different speeds. It'll sound good slow and fast, and I'm going to show you how we could play it in a very simple way and then a little more complex by adding hammer-ons and pull-offs. So you saw me do that a little bit in the intro, and it also works over open chords, bar chords, so I'm going to demonstrate that a little bit as well. Before we get into it, please go ahead and click subscribe so that you get all of the latest and greatest content from Guitar Tricks. And if you want to be notified of any new lesson, be sure to tap the bell and let us know in the comments what you'd like to see in future lessons. That's where we're always looking for ideas. All right, let's get into it. So let's get started with this finger picking pattern using the chord C in open position. Okay, but now we're just going to focus on the middle 4 strings. And what we're going to do is delegate our thumb to string 5 and 4. Right, so I'm alternating with my thumb of my right hand. And I've got my hand parallel to the strings. So it's not like this. It's not like that. It's parallel, right? So I'm just kind of hitting the strings right in this spot right here where the nail meets the side of the finger. If I want to get more of a nail sound, I could come a little more this way. Before we go any further, I'd like to take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video, Elixir Strings. If I want to get more of a nail sound, I could come a little more this way, but it's not necessary. Flesh is fine. If you get a little bit of nail, it'll give you a little more treble and a little more of a percussive sound to the note, a little sharper, less round, but we don't need any nail to do this. But just notice how my thumb is relaxed, it's not flexed, and it's parallel to the strings, not perpendicular. Okay, now I'm going to put my index finger on string 3, and I want to position my index finger in a way that if you follow the trajectory of my finger, it's going basically like to my shoulder, right? I'm not plucking out that way. I'm not coming straight up to my face. It's at a little bit of a diagonal, but not much of a diagonal. And basically the movement is coming from these 2 joints right here and not from here. So I'm not moving my whole finger. It's really just happening from this joint down. So there's a little bit of movement there, but it's mostly here. And I'm loading the string right where the flesh meets the nail. So let's just work on that open G string. Like that, right? I don't want to go too far in or else the finger kind of gets stuck and you gotta like pull it out. And if I'm too light on it, I'm not gonna get any sound. So it's like right where the flesh meets the nail. Now, if you don't have any nail, it's still the same spot, right on the tip of the finger. If you have nail, you kind of load the string right where that spot is, and then as you come up, the nail is going to grab it. So I do have nails. I like to have my nails so that if you look at my hand this way, you can not really see the nail. The nail is right up to the edge of the flesh. That's where I like to keep my nails. Once they go higher where you could see them like this, then I shave them down. So always on my desk, I have nail clippers, nail files, a buffer, and I like to just personally have a nice rounded shape to them. I actually did them today. before I even realized I was going to shoot this video, so they're nice and fresh. But you don't need them, so if you don't have the nails, don't worry about it. But if you want to get into fingerstyle, I recommend experimenting with nails. I definitely, when I first started playing fingerstyle, you know, I went down the rabbit hole, internet rabbit hole, finding out about nails. I had a one-on-one teacher who played classical, so he was very serious about his nails. And that was in probably 2011-ish. Yeah, that was probably around 2011 that I started playing fingerstyle. And ever since then, I've been growing my nails. It's now just habit. I don't think about it. It's just something I do. Before then, I would bite my nails. So this hand I still keep short, but I totally broke the habit of biting. Pretty much 100% because of guitar. So that's cool. All right, so that's the index finger on the G string. And now let's do the same thing with the middle finger on the B string while we're holding down that C chord. So this is first fret on the B string, or string 2. And same thing. So let's just play these 4 notes like this before we do any pattern. So I'm going thumb, thumb, index, middle. This is just the precursor to the pattern. We just want to get a nice solid sound. Notice how my hand is just on this kind of diagonal. This diagonal allows me to have my thumb resting on the A string or string 5, my index resting on the G string or string 3, and my middle finger resting on the B string or string 2 in a very neutral position, right? If I'm like this, it's not quite neutral. If I'm like that, it's not neutral. This is neutral for me, right? So just a bit of a diagonal, right? Now let's see if we can play all 3 at the same time. Try this. Look at that. So these two are kind of, these fingers can kind of just stay touching, really. And then the thumb goes down. Let's do all 4 middle strings separately. And now let's do strings 2, 3, and 5 together. Great, that's our preparation. As far as your pinky, I like to rest my pinky when I'm only using these 3 fingers because it just gives me a little more security. If I'm using my ring finger, then I'll float it, but when I don't need my ring finger, I tend to put my pinky down. Okay, so here's the pattern. So what we're doing is we're taking the 2 outer notes of the chord. In this case, we're just thinking of the middle 4 strings. So that would mean string 2 and string 5 are our 2 outer notes. And we're playing those with the thumb and the middle finger. Good. So let's call that both. Now we play the 2 inner strings, thumb then index. So that's step 1. Now we go 2 outer again, but separate, low then high. So together, inner strings, low, high. And then the last note is the higher pitched of the 2 thumb strings, or string 4. So now I'm just going to call out string numbers, counting toes to nose. But when I say both, it means strings 2 and 5. Both 4, 3, 5, 2, 4. 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 Now, you don't want to feel like you're locked into those middle 4 strings. Let's say we just replace strings 2 and 3 with strings 1 and 2. The thumb will still stick with string 5 and 4, but now it's going to sound like this. right? So that's the thing. We want to have the flexibility to move around between strings while maintaining the pattern. Now, when I say both, I mean 1 and 5. So watch this. Both, 4, 2, 5, 1, 4. Both, 4, 2, 5, 1, 4. Both, 4, 2, 5, 1, 4. Right? And going back to the original, 1, 2, 3, 4. Both, 4, 3, 5, 2, 4. Both, 4, 3, 5, 2, 4. Right? Now I'm going to go back and forth between both. Right? So my pattern involves 4 strings, but I could change which 4 strings I'm using. I typically change with where my index and middle finger go, not where my thumb goes, because the thumb is playing the root of the chord, the C, and the lower notes. It's kind of like the bass player, right? And of course, the last variation would be strings 1, 3, 4, 5. I like that one. Both, 4, 3, 5, 1, 4. Both, 4, 3, 5, 1, 4. Awesome. Okay, cool. So there's the pattern. Let's try it on an A minor chord. Now I'm going to do the middle 4 strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to replace the B string, or string 2, with the high E string. Now I'm going to replace string 3 with string 2. Now I'm going to mix all of that together. Nice. Now I'm going to do that on a G chord. G chord is a 6-string chord. So here I have more options than I did because I have 6 strings, right? The C chord and the A minor only had 5 strings. Now I have 6. But I'm going to keep my bass on the low E and the A string, or string 6 and 5. And then I could kind of change what my outer note is. Right, I have more options that way. But right now, let's look at it as if we're going to play the strings 6, 5, 3, and 1. That's a nice spread, 6, 5, 3, 1. So let's use 6, 5, 3, and 1 to do our pattern. So that'll be both, 5, 3, 6, 1, 5. Both, 5, 3, 6, 1, 5. Both, 5, 3, 6, 1, 5. Now, I'm just going to vary what the outer note is as the highest note. I'm going to go back and forth between string 1 and 2. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, awesome. Now, what I did in the intro is I added hammer-ons and pull-offs, just whatever I thought sounded good, right? So in other words, on the C, I like to hammer on from 1st fret to 3rd fret on the B string. So right after I pluck the note, I could add a hammer-on. So nothing changes in the right hand. Right hand stays exactly the same. What changes in the left hand, we're adding an in-between note by doing a hammer-on. So instead of da do da do da do, we have da da do da do da do da da do da do da do. Right? Because when we did the 2 notes together, the rhythm was long, short, 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 long, long, short, 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 long, right? We were going. But if I had a hammer on, it's short, 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 long, short, 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 long, right? Like da da do da do da do. So first you could just practice your hammer-ons independently. So I'm just messing around with open, 1st fret, 3rd fret. That's a hammer, pull off here, hammer, right? I could go on the high E string. I could go pull off from 3rd fret to open with the pinky. A minor, exact same ones. Right? So you could experiment with those. Then on the G, I went to a G to a G7. So from the pinky on the 3rd fret to the 1st fret of the high E string. And then I even pulled off, I think, 1st fret to open. So right? We could do it faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. We could do it slower. Right? When you try to do it faster, try to be lighter in your right hand. So the faster you go, the softer and the lighter you want to play. Once you get used to the speed, then you can vary the dynamics more. But just to relax, as you push the limit on speed, you want to relax into it. So the faster you get, the more relaxed you become. So now my fingers are like really soft. Cool. Now this is going to work on any chord. Let's say I want to play it over the blues. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So I'm just applying the exact same pattern and it works great over the blues. I could also give it a bit of a swing feel. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so the swing is instead of da 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 da, it's da 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 do da 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 do. It's got that swing feel. All right, everybody. So to me, that's a great, easy finger picking pattern that's going to work in many styles of music, many tempos. You could get creative with it by adding those hammer-ons, different melodic notes. You could play it on. You could play it with a swing feel in the blues. You could play it straight. Open position, bar chords, whatever works. So have fun experimenting with this. If you want to learn more about playing guitar, head over to guitartricks.com. There's a library of high quality song lessons, step-by-step courses on guitar fundamentals, rock, country, blues, a guitar toolbox, all sorts of great downloadable resources. Guitartricks.com. Happy playing. I'll see you in the next lesson.